Okay, let me introduce myself before. My name is Irsyad Azharusyarif Yudhiza Putra. For now, I want to present a review or skimming of a paper, 5 papers, to complete a task from security principle subjects from Ibu Farah. Okay, so here is 5 paper that I already skimmed before. So for the skimming itself, I am no no we were instructed to make a column, a table actually, um, with saying an author, problems of the paper itself, methods, parameters, advantages and disadvantages of it. Alright, so for the first paper, it's called this topic called Apple versus FBI, privacy versus security, which actually this case study was on 2012, not the recent 5 years before. Since I really interested into this topic, but I cannot find, or perhaps there will never any research anymore about these topics from 5 years before. So we show the table. So the author is Perham S. and Holmes G. 2017. So the problem of the paper is the lack of effective participation and engagement from teachers in professional development programs regarding technology integration, specifically the use of iPads. Despite the introduction of new technology specialists, the existing training initiatives were insufficient to meet the diverse needs of teachers at different competency levels, leading to a clear need for tailored and targeting training approaches. So actually the paper is talking about hold on, let us scroll into the abstract. Not here. Right, okay. So the abstract from this paper is replicating a more than 50-year research study, the authors looked into common political and economic factors as understood by high school seniors in rural southeastern high school. Participants, mostly seniors, were given a Likert scale study, designed and used in 1958 to see if they responded similarly despite changes American politics and culture in the nearly 6 decades that have passed. So it's actually talking about 6 years from 6 years behind from 2017. So the case study of this paper is took times like from 2011 2011 until 2017 to see if they responded similarly despite change. The students illustrated differences than that of their earlier peers and shown a glimpse of how millennials differ on a broad range of topics commonly associated with the teaching of social studies. And let's see the conclusions here. Right. So in the past, the only assistance provided to the high school campus was from the district technology coordinator, the network administrator, and one technology specialist. Upon the advent of the high school campus one-to-one initiative, the district employed 2 part-time technology integration specialists to assist the high school campus. These 2 educators were classroom teachers with the duties of assisting faculty with the iPad initiative along with other technology needs. The original technology leaders who were already in place were crucial to assisting and instructing the 2 new technology specialists. In addition to training the new staff members, the original staff was also integral to training and supporting the teachers and staff at the high school. The course of action prior to the first year at the high school acquiring iPads was to have 9 courses that covered basics of the iPad. Teacher participation was not required. Okay, so and the advantages. Oh no, I mean the parameter first, or method. Yeah, perhaps methods. We talk it first. So the methods used are primarily quantitative, as they involve a Likert scale survey for data collection. So the data collected here was like how do universities and schools used to collect the data of iPad to use it for study and learning or teaching in a class. And the parameter used is teacher participation and engagement in professional development courses. Advantages provides insights into teachers' technology training needs, highlights the necessity for tailored professional development. And disadvantages of that papers is low participation rates limit the effectiveness of training. Lack of differentiation in training content fails to address varying skill levels. Okay, perhaps we could proceed into the second paper, which titled was Digital Forensic Case Studies for In-Vehicle Infotainment Systems using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Let me talk about the abstract first. Vehicle systems have been one of the fastest growing fields in recent years. So vehicles are extremely helpful for understanding drivers' behaviors and have received significant attention from a forensic perspective. Extensive forensic research was previously conducted on onboard vehicle systems, such as an event data recorders located in the electronic control unit or manufacturer-based infotainment systems. However, unlike previous vehicles that used only manufacturer-based infotainment systems, most vehicles today are equipped with infotainment systems such as Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which actually the player, yeah, let's say it's a player from the car, whether it's third party or comes stocks from the cars itself, and it was connected into our phone, which is whether it is Android or Apple. So it's actually same hardware from the car itself, but the system will depends on what operating system from a smartphone that we used daily, or specifically connected into that infotainment system on a car. However, this in-vehicle infotainment, or we could say it IVI, systems connect to mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. As I mentioned before, the vehicle can periodically communicate with a smartphone and thus a network outside the vehicle. So basically, actually, for example, like from Waze itself, each not necessarily a passenger, but anybody in a car that connects their phone into the infotainment itself, the IVI, and use Waze could connect each car, not really actually connecting each car, but it makes the Waze looks like a social media sort of for the users share about the traffic conditions. It's like whether it's a traffic jam because of accident or the maintenance road, some kind of that. So let's talk about the table from here. So the problem from the paper is limited scope of existing forensic studies on Android Auto and Apple CarPlay system. These studies have primarily focused on the internal storage of mobile devices, neglecting other components of the IVI infotainment vehicle system environment. The proposed research aims to address this limitation by analyzing various sections of the IVI system and providing a comprehensive forensic methodology. And the method from the paper is used in the research include forensic analysis of various IVI systems, development of an IVI system forensic tool, and case studies to demonstrate the effectiveness of the proposed methodology. The research also involves the compilation analysis of IVI applications and communication structure analysis of Wi-Fi communication channels. The parameter from that paper is forensic artifacts obtained from various sections of the IVI system, meaning every log, perhaps, yeah, we could say it, log, any activity from the phone that connected into the IVI was called that artifacts. So actually artifacts is just the log itself. It could be contained from various sections from IVI system for each connections that happens between the smartphones and the IVI, including the internal storage of mobile devices, the IVI system itself, and the communication section. Data acquisition methods using hardware debugging interfaces like UART and GTAG for IVI systems that cannot be chipped off. Communication structure analysis of Wi-Fi communications channels between the IVI system and the mobile device. The compilation analysis of IVI applications, case studies to demonstrate the effectiveness of the proposed forensic methodology. The parameter advantages of from the paper is comprehensive forensic methodology. Addresses the limitations of existing studies by analyzing multiple components of the IVI system. Practical application. Sorry. Practical application. The proposed methodology and acquired artifacts can be used in future vehicle crime investigations. Advancement in IVI system forensics contributes to the development of forensic techniques for this emerging field. And the disadvantages from the paper is limited scope of current research. While the study addresses some limitations, further research is needed to cover all aspects of IVI system forensics. Technical challenges. The compilation analysis and hardware debugging can be complex and time-consuming. Evolving technology. IVI systems are rapidly evolving, which may require continuous updates to the forensic methodology. Okay, moving on to the next paper. The third paper was entitled as hybrid clustering. Yes. Hybrid clustering hybrid clustering of shared images on social networks for digital forensics. Social networks here is not only talking about social media, but everything on networks that connect each users, each peoples. So let me read the abstract here. So clustering the images shared through social network platforms, according to the acquisition cameras embedded in smartphone, is regarded as a significant task in forensic investigation of cybercrimes. The sensor pattern noise, or SPN, caused by the camera sensor imperfections during the manufacturing process can be extracted from the images and used to fingerprint the smartphones. So basically, it is some kind of cryptograph, I guess. No. Perhaps, yeah. So the process of content compression performed by the essence causes loss of image details and weakens the SPN, making the clustering task even more challenging. In this paper, we present a hybrid algorithm capable of clustering the images captured and shared through Essence without prior knowledge about the types and number of the acquisition smartphones. Okay, let me talk about the from the table. Let's say problem method parameter. Okay, problem. So the problem from this third paper is clustering images captured and shared through social networks based on their acquisition cameras. Method? Yeah, method. The method from this third paper is hybrid clustering algorithm that combines batch partitioning, image resizing, hierarchical hier, hierarchical hierarchical clustering and graph-based clustering approaches to cluster images based on their sensor pattern noise, or SPN. The algorithm uses Markov clustering to select representative clusters for merging and an adaptive threshold to update the merging criteria. The parameter here was sensor pattern noise, or we call it SPN, extracted from images to fingerprint smartphones. Image clustering based on SPN. Patch partitioning and image resizing techniques. Hierarchical clustering using Markov clustering. Graph-based clustering with an adaptive threshold. The advantages is effective clustering of images captured and shared through social networks. No prior knowledge required about the types and number of acquisition smartphones. Efficient algorithm compared to state-of-the-art methods. The disadvantages is potential limitations with highly compressed images or images with significant noise or artifacts. Computational complexity of the hybrid approach, especially for large datasets. Sensitivity to variations in camera sensor characteristics and imaging conditions. Maybe we should talk it fast, like we already made 17 minutes here. The fourth paper was entitled Auto Parser, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay Forensics. So it talks about the comparison between Android Auto and Apple CarPlay again. From the abstract here, mobile device features like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto provide drivers safer hands-free navigation method to use while driving, as I mentioned before. And in crash investigations, understanding how these applications store data may be crucial in determining the what, when, where, who, and why. By analyzing digital artifacts generated by Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, investigators can determine the last application displayed on the head unit, the application layout of the user's home display screen, and other evidence which points to the utilization of the mobile device and its features while driving. Let's talk from the table. The problem from the paper is limited understanding of digital evidence produced by Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in crash investigations. The method. Why I keep forgetting about the order of this row. The method from this paper is analysis of digital artifacts generated by Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Development of an open source tool to extract relevant artifacts from this application and other daily used apps. And the parameter is digital artifacts such as application layout, last displayed application, and usage data, vehicle connection history, home application settings, timestamps, and text message and phone call histories. Maybe we could add like a song list or music player history. So this was talking about what data used from our phone to be displayed on the IVI. The advantages is enhanced crash investigation, provides valuable information about device usage and vehicle connections. Open source tool, accessible and customizable for investigators. Efficient data extraction, offers a fast and compact solution. The disadvantages from this paper is limited to supported applications. The tool may not be effective for all Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatible apps. Data limitations. The amount and type of data extracted may vary depending on app settings and device usage. Evolving technology. The effectiveness of the tool may be affected by future updates to Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And the last paper, the fifth paper, was entitled as an overview of Mac system security and its impact on digital forensic process. So this was written on 2020. So perhaps it's like macOS High Sierra, I guess. Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 operating systems before now. So now we have macOS Sequoia. Sequoia? Does it? How we pronounce it? Right. Okay. Let me read the abstract first. Nowadays, there are 3 main operating systems used, and macOS is one of them. Yeah, perhaps Windows, macOS, Android, iOS? Or we could include iOS on macOS as one ecosystem or one operating systems. Until now, Apple published many iterations of their operating system, and with that, introduced many view features that are related to system security. Even though security-related changes go unnoticed, unnoticed, in the world of digital forensics, this presents a challenge. Today, encryption can be implemented on both hardware and software level, which can make imaging macOS difficult. Besides, security, which is meant to protect user data, is also used by criminals to restrict access to their computers. And let's see the conclusions here. Right. Through this paper, most of the issues and impediments that the investigator has to overcome have been covered, and the whole process of bypassing the security system will only allow the investigator to acquire or image a drive of macOS. The T1 and T2 security chips and their functionality have been covered. Because of these security upgrades, which made it harder for investigators to deal with Apple or specifically Macintosh devices, all this information led to the conclusion that the best and easiest way of acquiring data is when the Apple device is found, turned on, and unlocked. It's like we put a meme of you don't say. As shown in one of the examples, even when the macOS is unlocked, the physical memory cannot be imaged without entering the user's password, which is in the world of Windows forensic almost a trivial task. Yeah, because there is 2 encryption system. I mean Windows has its own and Apple has its own. Windows has that BitLocker system to encrypt any kind of data which we choose to be encrypted or not, while Apple has a system called File Vault to encrypt mostly, like automatically, every data we have on macOS was encrypted, but there is an option. We were asked whether we want to make the data more encrypted or not. So it's like double encryption or not. The funny thing is, like, not every Windows has a biometric hardware like fingerprint or Face ID, but on macOS that has that biometric login hardware for signing in, like the fingerprint. The encrypted data that we selected with File Vault could be only decrypted using our biometrics. That's the funniest thing. Not the funniest thing, I mean the fun things. So let's talk about the table again. The problem we have from the paper was or is we could use it both. Challenges faced by forensic investigators in acquiring data from macOS devices due to their increasing security features. The method is analysis of macOS security features and their impact on forensic investigations. Discussions of techniques for bypassing security systems and acquiring forensic images. Exploration of the role of T1 and T2 security chips in protecting Apple devices. Examination of password recovery methods and their limitations. The parameter here is security features of macOS, including encryption and hardware-based security. Forensic imaging techniques for macOS devices. T1 and T2 security chips and their functionality, and password recovery methods and their limitations. The advantages from this paper is comprehensive overview of macOS security challenges for forensic investigators. So we are the one who wants to open the system, not protecting the system. Practical guidance on bypassing security systems and acquiring data. Discussion of limitations and potential solutions. And the disadvantages is evolving security landscape. macOS security features are constantly updated, making it challenging to keep up with the latest techniques. Technical complexity. Some methods may acquire advanced technical skills and specialized tools. Ethical considerations. Bypassing security system may raise ethical concerns. So there is another topic from this first paper that I want to discuss or tell. So actually I wrote it on the other task from other subjects from Prof. Ari. That talking about the case from Apple versus FBI, privacy versus security. There was an incident. Accident, incident becoming accident. Okay, and FBI was taking down a terrorist, and turns out the terrorist was using an iPhone 5C on 2012. FBI tried to have some autopsy on this terrorist device to look for some evidence, but they can't, since Apple has a very unique privacy system. So this terrorist was caught like this was the we say it like aftertaste of tasting of food, and this was happened nearly after the 9/11 on 2001. So I'm not going to talk about political things here, but yeah, Apple's strength or advantages of Apple system, which made them cannot be opened by any kind of penetration or autopsy methods, which already used by FBI themselves. And what was the act that FBI and Apple took during that time of incident? So there was two point of view here, of course. One point of view from Apple and another point of view from FBI. So how did FBI doing any kind of digital forensic methods and approach to protect the country, to protect the United States of America, of course, since any kind of terrorism is an enemy of a country, right? So they are trying to collect any kind of evidence from the terrorists that already caught up, while Apple has their own regulations to protect their users' privacy and security. So no matter happen, this terrorist bought the iPhone. So the terrorist is the user of Apple, and Apple really intend to protect their users' privacy and security no matter what. So there is two point of view where FBI wants to open to collect any kind of the evidence to protect the country, but Apple is trying their best to protect their users, which means if users already trust a company by using their product, the company should give their best to their users. Yes. So, and the main research question here was, how did Apple developing their ecosystems to protect their users' privacy and security? Okay, I guess that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching and listening.